Hello everyone. I'm Firman, and today I would like to explain about one of the phenomena in solar photovoltaic, which is Shockley Queisser limits. It's basically a phenomena where the efficiency of the solar cell is limited by certain things, and we will discuss it deeply today. So basically, there are three things that limits the efficiency of solar cells or solar photovoltaic. The first one is black body radiations. The second one is spectrum losses, and the third one is recombination. As you can see from the screens. So let's go to the first one which is black body radiation. So what it means by black body radiation, it's basically everything that has temperatures above 0 kelvins will emit some radiations. And anything, it basically your body as well emits a radiation. And this emitting energy will become losses in photovoltaics. So basically, imagine that this is photovoltaic, and it got some, let's say, 30 degrees Celsius. Let's say 30 degrees Celsius, and there's this photon coming. Photon is actually energy from the sunlight, and those energy will become, some of it become radiation, because 30 degrees Celsius is basically more than 0 Kelvin, right? 30 degrees Celsius means it is right, 33 Kelvins. So basically, this emits energy. So some of the energy from sunlight will be emitted back to surroundings because of these black body radiations. And the next one is spectrum losses. Spectrum losses, you can think you can see the figures on the screens, right? On the bottom right, where there is a yellow and also the gray ones figures. As you can see, the gray one is actually what is the silicon single cells photovoltaics can absorb, and meanwhile the yellow one is actually the powers that cannot be absorbed by the photovoltaics. Okay, there is the reason why this happens actually. So inside the photovoltaics, we have what we call a band gap. Okay, and underneath is actually our electrons, and this is electron. What we want to do is basically we want to absorb photons or sunlight energy to solar cell or photovoltaics and emits this electron, so it will move to the upper part. Okay, and why we want to move it? Because later on this electron will generate electricity. Let's just put it simple for this first video. Yeah, so basically we want to electron to excite from this the current condition in order to generate electricity. Just put it simple like that, but in actual condition it's not as simple as that, but maybe we will try go more deeply at the later videos. So just things like that. Okay, and the thing is, think the photovoltaic as a generous person. He probably only want what he or she needs, and if he got more than he or she needs, it will not absorb it, and also he or she will not take anything that you they don't they don't need, they don't really need. If we see from the figures, let's see, there are a certain wavelength that can be absorbed by photovoltaic, right? Photovoltaic won't offset this one, won't offset this one, won't offset this one, right? Because it is not included in the wavelength. Wavelength contribute to the energy, which is a band gap energy. And only this wavelength that can contribute to the desired energy that photovoltaic wants. And how about if you have the same wavelength that can generate enough energy, but it has more energy like this? Unfortunately, photovoltaic still don't want to absorb it, and therefore it will be become losses in photovoltaics, and it also will be, for example, become heat or anything like that. So this one is actually will connect to the third reason of Shockley Queisser's limits, which is recombination and excess photon energy. As already said earlier, if the energy is more than what it needs, it will not absorb it, it will be released as losses, and those losses will contribute to, for example, thermal energy in photovoltaic, right? Thermal energy means that, for example, the photovoltaic will increase. So yeah, let's put it simple like that. So it will become losses, the yellow one, this one losses, this one is also losses, right? And also there is a black body radiation as well, where the photovoltaic emits some radiation since the temperature is more than 0 kelvins, right? And yeah, basically these three things can contribute to the limits of photovoltaics, which we call Shockley Queisser's limits. The limit itself for silicons, one junction is around 42%, right? So the maximum amount of energy that can be absorbed from photovoltaic is only 42%. That's, of course, as an engineers, we might thinking that there are a lot of ways in there, like 48% of energy is not small. I mean, if you are generating, for example, 1 gigawatt, for example, 42 megawatts of electricity, mean there is 58 megawatts of electricity that become losses, right? So we, as an engineer, came up with a solutions. What the solution? The solution is basically, as you can see, the limit of which wavelength that can be absorbed by photovoltaic is based on its materials. And for silicon itself, there is a band gap energy of silicons. There is a band gap, and this band gap is different from one material to the other materials. And how can we absorb, for example, this one? What we can do is actually, of course, we just need to make a layer by layers with different materials, right? For example, silicon is up on the surface, and there's the other material, and there's the other material, and there's the other material, right? So as the light came, some of it will absorb here, some of it will absorb here, some of it will absorb here, and all of these become gray. Right? So that's what we call multi-junctions photovoltaics. And the usability is still limited, since that is a very expensive, actually it's very expensive methodology to produce this kind of photovoltaics. But what we can do is basically we try to improve the single junction right now, even though there are a lot of research related to multi-junction photovoltaics. But we want to do is we're trying to research the single junctions, and we try to reduce the other losses that still exist. The other losses, for example, in the equipment losses. And for example, if we see a photovoltaic like this, sometimes some of the light is emitted back because there is some kind of reflections, right? If you can see for example, if you can see a laptop, it is because some of the light is emitted back to your eyes, right? Yeah, some energy is emitted back. So some photovoltaic, we created some photovoltaic that less like is being reflected back to the atmospheres. So that's how we can do it. So we try to find the other losses and reduce it. And of course, we also still try to find the multi-junction. We try to research the multi-junctions, but till now, the multi-junction still feasible for only space exploration, since it's very expensive, but of course, it's very efficient, right? Okay, the current world record for the most efficient photovoltaic system is basically from the multi-junctions. Okay, that's it. So yeah, let's me summarize what we have discussed today. So there is a limit, efficiency limit in solar photovoltaics, which we call Shockley Queisser's limit. This limit is due to three reasons: blackbody radiation, spectrum losses, recombination, and excess photon energy. And each material has their own band gap, which contribute to which wavelength they can absorb. And the way that we can surpass this limit actually by trying to stack those materials, each of different materials, and create different layers of materials in one photovoltaics in order to achieve a lot of wavelength, more wider wavelength. So yeah, that's it. If you have any question, please tell me in the comment section. So sorry if this is my first video actually to explain something like this and sharing it on LinkedIn. So please bear with me, and yeah, if you got something in mind, like you can improve the video like this, please let me know. Thank you very much.